Hi, I'm Joshua Helton, Certified Product Specialist for Native Instruments, and I'm here at Sweetwater today to show you, quite frankly, one of my favorite pieces of DJ gear I've ever used, the Traktor Kontrol S4 MK3. The redesign of the Traktor Kontrol S4 MK3 really does bring it up to today's club standards. You're going to find a lot of the function on other gear in the same place that you're going to find it here on this new redesign. The old butterfly or mirrored effect of the S4 MK2 has now been updated to reflect the current club standards. So now you'll have both pitch faders in the same place on both players. You'll have your browse encoders in the same place that you would expect them to be on both players. You've got two players and a mixer. You've got an effects section and a transport section on this controller. All the stuff that you're familiar with the older versions of this controller. What's new about this controller is the jog wheels have been increased in size and they've also been motorized. Along with that motorization, there's haptic feedback, which if you're familiar with your phone, is that thing that allows your phone to bump you or give you an indicator that there's a message waiting for you. Now you have that kind of feel on the jog wheel itself. I'm an old guy, been playing for 25 years, and I like to use the turntables. This has been the most realistic thing I've ever felt on a controller. It slips up top, just like you would expect a record to slip on a slip mat. And if you grab the side, it actually has torque and it'll tug just like the platter of a turntable. The haptic feedback also allows for some other functions that allow you to be able to set a cue point and back over that cue point and feel where that cue point is. Bump, 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 and it just sets right in there and you can feel that cue point. So when you're ready to cue that part of the song up or start your track at the beginning, it knows right there where that is. The jog wheel also has clicks when you're nudging in jog mode, forward, backward, that can be set to be fine or coarse depending on your personal taste. And it just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of how far you're moving forward in the track or how far you're moving back. And really, again, just giving you some tactile feel over what you're playing on the unit itself. The jog mode can also be customized to the way that you play. You can tighten it up for a tighter feel that doesn't really move a whole lot, or you can immediately loosen that control up and have a more loose, easy feel to the way that you're playing. Personal preference. One of the other modes that you can find on this controller as well is the grid mode, which allows you to set your beat grids, even though Traktor will automatically beat grid them for you. Every now and again, you kind of need to massage one or move one forward or backward to make sure that that mix is in phase, and you can now do that from the controller itself. One of the new functions that the Traktor Kontrol S4 MK3 offers is a reverse mode, which allows you to, with the push of a button, reverse the play of your track so it's playing backwards or spinning backwards in time with the music that you're playing, release, and it comes back without missing a beat. If you're in the middle of a mix, use flux mode with the reverse to keep that mix in phrase so you don't lose your timing of your mix, but you can get that effect of a reverse back. So with reverse, you can quickly just push one button and back up the track. And you also have flux mode available there too. One other thing to notice about the jog wheel is that you'll notice that there's a guide light, a light guide that is moving around to kind of give you the idea of the motion of the song. And whether you're in turntable mode or in jog wheel mode, that'll spin for you and kind of give you that indication. One of the other great things about that light guide is if you select deck D, it'll change color to indicate that you're controlling a different deck. Another thing that sets the Traktor S4 MK3 apart from other controllers is the high resolution screens that give you just enough information without the feel of looking at another computer screen. You have your track name, the time of the track, the BPM of the track, the loop. You have a small waveform that gives you sort of the view of the track and where you are in the track, as well as the key in that track. And on that, you can actually get into and change the key. It'll show you the key that you're playing in. You can change the key that you're playing, and and it will show you when you have looping activated. You also have 8 performance pads on the unit itself that have a couple of different functions. You have hot cues that perform like hot cues you'd expect them to. Each pad has a different color based on the type of cue that it is. If it's a grid or just a regular cue, or if you have an active loop, there's a color like the green here that will represent what that is, so you know immediately just from looking at the unit what you're doing and how and what type of cue that you're actually accessing. The pads also access your remix decks and your stems controls on the S4 itself. You can quickly select the loop that you would prefer to have in the track, get that loop going, start another loop, get another one going, start to build your track. If you want to change one of the sounds in there, quickly just hold a pad, grab your browse knob, and it switches. Boom. Now you've got that one done. Again, the screens on the S4 Mark III are crucially important because they give you the information when you are switching from sample to sample, which sample you're actually changing. You can get the volume control over each sample, and it's right there on the controller itself. You can also affect the filter. It also shows you the type of sample that you have loaded into that deck, whether it be a one-shot or a loop. So along with the update of the player section of the Traktor Kontrol S4, they've also updated the mixer section to be, again, more in line with what you're going to find out in the market today. A standard sort of club style mixer. You'll notice that rather than having the main master section in the middle, it's been moved over here to the side of the unit in the mixer area. You have your master, your booth control, you have your effects select for your instant gratification effects, which I'll cover. You also have your headphone volume and cue mix right here on that same section, much like you would on any standard DJ controller. At the top of the mixer, you have your input section, which has your gain and the ability to select the type of input that you're using for each individual channel. You have 2 phono and line inputs available on the middle decks, as well as 2 mic inputs and line inputs on the outside decks. The last thing you'll notice in the player section on the S4 Mark III is the effects unit. The effects are what Traktor is known for. Native Instruments makes great suite of effects, and they do not chump out when it comes to the DJ stuff. You have 2 effects units. You can expand that into 4. You have access on this unit to 2 of those effects units. Really allows you to take things and get things really kind of out there in the mix and manipulate the song and twist it in so many different ways. Moving down from the input section, you have the ability to assign your effects to those effects units in Traktor, whether it be the left or the right unit. Moving down, you have your highs, mids, lows, your frequency kills for each individual channel, your EQ that you would find on any DJ mixer. Again, one of the things that you can do in Traktor is you can customize the sound of this EQ in the software to pick some of your favorite mixers that you would like to use and you like that sound. You can make that EQ customizable for you. Below that is one of the most used knobs on this controller that I use quite frequently, which was only a filter at one point. But now Native Instruments has taken it a step further and offered not one, not two, but 4 different effects available for that knob, as well as the filter effect that you're accustomed to if you use this type of controller. It's very quick to get that instant gratification by quickly turning a knob that will access an effect that is in time with what you're playing and sound great just by a turn of the knob. Quick, instant gratification. Each of these knobs can be assigned to a different instant gratification effect or quick effect that then allows you to do different types of things on each track that you're playing versus just having the one effect on that one unit. So now you have 4 different effects loaded up. In the software, you can pick and choose based on your mixing style what types of effects you put into those sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you have about 9 different quick effects to choose from. Moving down, you have your Q section. You have nice smooth faders on this unit. Crossfader that feels really good. That crossfader is also assignable on the front of the unit, where you can assign each channel to one side or the other of the unit. Also on the front of the unit you have a mic input, which is great. This is a new thing for the S4. Having that mic input really is going to be great for especially like mobile DJs and wedding guys that are out there doing things and need to quickly plug in a mic and just make an announcement or do something to get the crowd's attention. Make a sample if you'd like. One of the great things about the new S4 Mark III is the I/O. It's got all the club standard I/O that you would expect. Balanced outputs, as well as RCA outputs, and a booth output for your monitors. It's got input for 2 turntables. It's got 4 line inputs, 2 microphone inputs. It also has a USB hub to connect other gear to the unit itself. By far, the new Traktor Kontrol S4 Mark III really is one of the best pieces of DJ gear I've played on over the 25 years that I've been DJing. It is absolutely a staple in my setup at home and something that I really have a hard time living without on the road. So this has been a quick look at the new Traktor Kontrol S4 Mark III. If you have any other questions about this or any other Native Instruments product, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.